I didn't think I was going to make it, to be honest with you.
Tonight we're hearing from a pilot who had to make an emergency landing on a Kentucky highway.
Republican candidate Matt Bevin continues to have the lead in the governor's race, but he hasn't been declared the winner just yet.
A benefit held tonight in downtown Lexington for a country that's suffering.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening to you. Some terrifying moments this afternoon for a pilot who had to make an emergency landing on a Kentucky highway. And tonight he's talking about what happened.
It happened about 1 o'clock on Highway 555, just north of the Bluegrass Parkway in Washington County. The pilot told deputies he was flying the plane from Indiana back home to South Carolina. And if it were not for some quick thinking, it might have ended in tragedy. WKYT's Garrett Weimer is at the live desk with our top story at 11. Garrett?
Robert Kenyon says he's been a pilot for more than 30 years, but when he ran into engine trouble this afternoon 20 miles from the closest airport, he wasn't sure he was going to make it. The problem started at 5,500 feet.
It started running just slightly rough, so I did the first thing you normally do.
But after Robert Kenyon did everything he could do, he says he knew the plane was going down.
I didn't think I was going to make it, to be honest with you.
He's 1 mile north of the east-west interstate.
In these radio transmissions, you can hear air traffic controllers talking to another pilot, trying to relay messages to Kenyon as he prepared to land on Highway 555.
Did you get a response from him, sir? He is currently descending through 1,300, and he has apparently he has the highway in sight.
I did what I'd been trained to do. I flew the airplane.
Kenyon says there were 2 cars on the road at the time, so he circled to let them know he was going to land. Still, he just missed one of the cars.
I was coming right at her, so she had to see me. I knew she did, and she was smart enough. She moved out of the way of the road, and I landed the airplane. And if she hadn't moved, it would have been a lot worse.
That woman then stayed with him until help arrived. A woman Kenyon is grateful to.
She's a hero.
This evening, I actually spoke with that woman who says she saw the plane coming down and quickly got off the road. She says it was scary for a moment, but it couldn't have gone better than it did. She says tonight she's thankful to be alive to see her 3-year-old and thankful the pilot gets to see his family too. At the live desk, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And Kenyon's wife was driving back to their home in South Carolina as he flew back. After today's emergency landing, she turned around and came back to meet him.
It appears the Republican candidate for governor is now set. This afternoon, Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes announced a recanvass showed no changes between Matt Bevin and James Comer. Comer asked for the recanvass after losing to Bevin in last week's primary by just 83 votes. Grimes announced no change in the race for State Agriculture Commissioner either.
As the chief election official, I could not be more pleased with the responsiveness within which my staff, as well as the County Board of Elections across the Commonwealth.
If Comer does not file for a recount, Bevin will face Jack Conway in the November general election. The deadline to file for a recount is tomorrow.
State police and federal agents raided 2 Lexington businesses today, part of what they call a major investigation. They searched the Progress Market on North Limestone just before noon, then the Eastland Market. Police say the owners of both stores were selling stolen merchandise from Kroger. Investigators have been working with Kroger's loss prevention for more than a month.
Today we were in the right place at the right time, and actually we made narcotics arrests, and it was kind of a 2-for-1 today for us.
Today, state police also found a semi-automatic handgun inside the Progress Market. We saw some pop-up showers throughout the day, but nothing too severe.
But we are tracking some chances for storms overnight and into the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has your first look at your forecast. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, today featuring a little less action across the region, guys, with the scattered showers and thunderstorms, not as widespread as what we had yesterday. We take a look back at the rainfall numbers for the day, and areas that you see painted in at least a little light green actually had some rainfall to start out the day. A little heavier southern Kentucky, where we had a couple of rumbles of thunder. What we're dealing with on Kentucky's most powerful live Doppler radar now is a little round of some very light rains across the west side of Lexington. Look how small of a shower or series of little showers that we're talking about here. On the west side of town, from Keeneland, Bluegrass Airport, down toward sections of the Clays Mill Road area, Fayette Mall, and on into downtown, picking up on some of those fast movers that are coming at us from south to north. Additional showers and thunderstorms trying to blossom into the volunteer state of Tennessee. A few of those trying to sneak into southern Kentucky as of now. Got this moisture plume lifting to the north, another one coming at us from the west. All of this going to get together to give us a rather stormy period. Yes, we've been in one over the past few days, but as we go toward your weekend, storms increase. That means we've got to keep an eye out for the potential for some heavy rains. We'll detail that heavy rain threat with a 7-day rainfall forecast, guys, and we'll break down your weekend plans hour by hour in just a few minutes.
Chris, we will see you then. Thank you. An Eastern Kentucky bank is offering to help those affected by a recent disability payment suspension. Hundreds of clients of Floyd County Attorney Eric C. Kahn were notified that benefits were being suspended following a fraud investigation. Citizens National Bank is giving financial assistance to customers who received a letter from the Social Security Administration. Bank leaders are providing loan payment extensions and refunding some overdraft fees.
So we don't want them at this point to be afraid to come and talk to us as bankers. We all know that when you get in situations like this, you know, people start hiding, you know, they're afraid to come out and talk about it. We're all community people.
Leaders with the bank say if you are a customer and would like assistance, stop at one of their locations in 8 Eastern Kentucky counties and bring your letter with you.
Several homes in Lexington had to be evacuated this afternoon after a gas leak. Firefighters say construction crews hit a gas line at the corner of Todd's Road and Hayes Boulevard just before 2 o'clock. Homes nearby were evacuated temporarily and traffic was rerouted. The road reopened around 4 o'clock. A popular Lexington gym is closing. The West Main Street location of LA Fitness in downtown Lexington will close tomorrow at 2 p.m. Staff members there tell us all current members and staff will be transferred to the other 2 locations in town. No word yet from the gym about why they decided to close. Various concept drawings for the Centerpoint project show the former Urban Active and now LA Fitness as part of the project.
It has been more than a month since 2 devastating earthquakes hit Nepal, but people here in Lexington are still working to help the victims of that disaster. Tonight, people gathered in the Fellowship Hall of Central Christian Church for a night of comedy. WKYT's Monique Blair shows us how the organization is raising money for the cause.
My mom, my dad, and my siblings all are living in Gorkha.
Gorkha is a district in the country of Nepal where Babu Atsakari's family is from, and now they're just trying to survive after falling victim to 2 massive and deadly earthquakes.
They need shelter, the very first thing. The second thing, they need clean drinking water, they need food, and they need medical care.
As devastation continues to plague Nepal,
I do think it's important that we realize that we're connected to people maybe halfway around the world more directly than we think so.
The Central Kentucky Council for Peace and Justice, along with the Forum of Nepalese in America, teamed up tonight to offer a few laughs.
I was thinking, how do you do comedy for a tragedy? But sometimes, we gotta laugh no matter what else is happening.
And to showcase some authentic Nepalese dancing. On top of hundreds of thousands of people in Nepal being without shelter, their monsoon season is right around the corner. Although Atsakari's family is facing even more possible tragedy and living in deplorable conditions, he says they are just happy to be alive.
They're telling me that don't worry about because we are leaving. They lost their property, everything, but they told me, okay, we are survived. The physical properties, they are nothing. But they saved their lives.
In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Well, all of the proceeds from tonight's events will go to the victims in Nepal. If you would like to donate, you can find a link on our website, WKYT.com.
She's an inspiration to many people, a Lexington woman working on reclaiming her life with a new prosthetic leg. 18 months ago, Lisa Schaefer was out running errands. She was riding her bicycle in the bike lane along Winchester Road when a truck driver turned right, pinning her underneath the wheels. 70 days in the hospital and 10 surgeries followed to save that right leg, but in the end, Lisa decided on amputation. And now she is in the process of getting fitted for a prosthetic leg that allows her to do pretty much everything she did before the accident. She's not letting a severe injury stop her.
gosh, you don't know how wonderful it is. I never knew how much I love music until after this accident, because knowing it was almost taken away from me.
She also plays the cello for the Lexington Philharmonic Orchestra. Lisa's new prosthetic leg costs about $35,000, but insurance covers most of that. She does have a GoFundMe account, Legs for Lisa. You can find the link on WKYT.com. Still to come on WKYT News at 11, the search continues tonight for missing people swept away by the flooding in Texas.
And some controversy at a Southern Kentucky high school, why school leaders won't be allowed to lead a prayer during graduation.